Like it or not, the pistol caliber carbine and PCC competition is here to stay. And the International Defensive Pistol Association is on board primarily because rifle shooting pistol calibers can compete on the same courses of fire as the pistols with little or no stage modification. The IDPA's first ever PCC National is a one-day event at the CMP's Marksmanship Park in Talladega, Alabama. At first glance, it looks like any other IDPA National. Elaborately decorated courses of fire are the norm. But one key difference jumps out right away. Everyone has long guns. This is IDPA embracing PCC competition, and I think the people like it.
I think you're right. We were a little concerned about how well it would be received, and we didn't know if the match would fill. You know, it's just brand new territory for us.
Navigating the PCC waters is streamlined by experienced match staff.
Well, I think we've been very blessed to have a somewhat devious match director by the name of Rick Lund, who understands pistols and rifles extremely well. And so he was able to design the course of fire to be very challenging, but still very simple.
Introducing PCC to our sport happened in 2017. And when we first integrated it into the rule book, I took that on as a project and grew to love it as a division.
Standing at SP facing the wall, PCC stop touching the belt, muzzle pointed at the mark. There's a green mark on the wall.
You don't holster a rifle. So we had to create and define specific positions that your muzzle had to be touching. Different times, sometimes your stock is on your belt, other times it's mounted to your shoulder. A lot of times you're not holding the gun when you start the stage.
One staple at any IDPA match, the scenario-based courses of fire.
Scenario: you've been badly beaten and had a broken collarbone.
Hijackers mistake your vehicle for one carrying uranium fuel destined for a power plant.
Scenario: you are being held at gunpoint in the local community garden by bad guys, and they are talking about where to dump the bodies.
The one key difference you'll notice right away, no concealment garments on the competitors. But the threat targets, on the other hand, on many stages, they're sporting t-shirts, which adds to the challenge.
Yeah, so covering the threat targets with t-shirts does two things. One, it identifies the threat target, which is helpful. Two, you don't get to call your hits. Like, you can't Hawkeye your target, so you just have to call them good and move on. And I'm a little hesitant, just trying to get rolling here. Extra shots, you know, probably 5 seconds off, so not too bad.
Years ago, when IDPA first started, we always had shirts on targets. Well, we kind of got away from that because it became somewhat onerous to score the targets having the shirts on them.
Just as the PCC is new to IDPA, it's also new equipment for many of the seasoned IDPA shooters.
Notice this, Osmo. That's a brand new. My man still got his stop tag on the gun.
Obviously, this isn't my first IDPA match, but it's my first time shooting PCC in an IDPA match. So lots of different shooting positions. You know, things are a little more awkward than typical pistol in IDPA, but got a great group of guys to shoot with, and it's a lot of fun. So learning lots of new stuff today.
It's the same kind of experience for Scott Warren. Even as a master in many IDPA pistol divisions, he's in the learning curve with the long gun.
You know, I'm used to running a handgun at a high level, and it's tough. I can't run a rifle at that level at all. That's, you know, so we're having fun.
Kind of showcase the fact that you can do this anywhere. You know, you can still do rifles along with pistols on a bay, in a match, basically anywhere you want to be.
That's the beauty of the pistol caliber carbine. They offer the usability and challenge of manipulating a long gun, but they work on stages and bays designed for pistols. At the end of the day, more guns in the match means more entries and more rounds downrange. That's always a good thing. But coming next, a few more of the highly interactive stages from the IDPA's PCC Nationals. Everyone who knows IDPA competition knows there is a lot of creativity and planning that go into the popular scenario-based courses of fire. And at the Nationals, there are some of the most creative courses of fire you'll find anywhere. It's all part of the game in IDPA. When you look at an interactive course of fire, there is a lot more going on than just a well-decorated stage or an interesting course brief.
In scenarios, you're working a late shift in the stock room when you find yourself confronted by armed robbers.
Adding additional challenges and manipulations is the key to test each competitor's mind game as well as shooting games.
You know, it's basically an inventory of everyone's shooting skills. So I spend a lot of time focusing on things that shooters, I'm able to find some of their weaknesses that they don't practice and include those into the stage.
It might be a test of your timing, like on stage 5, 2 turning targets activated by hanging up the telephone receiver.
It felt pretty good. This is a really awesome stage. The pneumatic targets, the phone, a lot going on here for just a few shots.
Or how about a stage that mandates support side shooting and even puts your strong side arm in a sling?
Are you ready? Stand by.
So you are literally competing with your strong hand tied to your side.
I've shot IDPA previously, and so I've shot some stages where you were either handcuffed or tied to things. So I kind of expected that, but you add the element of having a PCC, a long gun, and it changes things entirely.
The one stage that was talked about more than any, stage 9.
He's going to put a bag over your head.
You've got to untie yourself, retrieve your rifle and magazine from the box, and deal with the threat targets from the kneeling. It's a challenge that is safe to say none of the competitors have practiced.
Once again, the t-shirts bit me in the butt, man. You can't Hawkeye your...
Down zero.
Okay.
Down zero.
That's cool. I'll take those. Those are good.
Well, anytime you hear down 0 on a target, that's a keeper. And with all of the new guns on the range at the IDPA PCC National, I want to take a few minutes and show you some of the new that I'm running on my JP Enterprises GMR 15. This is the same gun that JP and I put his short stroke bolt kit in a while back.
The first time I shot the prototype sample we built, I was cautiously optimistic about the effect it was going to have, but I was actually amazed at how much more of a difference that it made for me.
At that time, the kit we used was a prototype. It ran great, but it didn't have the cuts for the last shot hold open. So now I have the production model with the last shot hold open, and that, I can tell you, is something you'll want for IDPA competition. Something else you're going to want, a fast and durable optic, and I put the emphasis here on durable. This is the EOTech 512 HWS, and I've chosen this for a couple of reasons. Primarily, I'm never going to run any kind of night vision in conjunction with this setup. The 512 does not offer NV capability, and that saves a few dollars. Also, the 512 is powered by 2 AA batteries. You get 600 hours out of alkaline and 1,000 hours out of lithium. And if you ever run low, you can get AA's just about anywhere. Something else you're going to want, a set of offset sights. A lot of guys will run a second red dot. I like a circle and post setup. These are pretty slick. They're from Diamond Head. They're fast deploy, and they're very low profile when stored. A couple of other add-ons that are worth their weight in gold, the TechWell magazine well and the Tech latch. Even though my GMR has a left side charge handle, I seem to be faster with a traditional charge handle, and this one works great. Also, IDPA allows lasers. I didn't have a chance to use this much at the Outdoor Nationals, but at my indoor club match, it's pretty handy. This one is from Crimson Trace. So all told, the first ever IDPA PCC Nationals is a big success. You've made it this far in the video, and for that, we thank you. If you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel, and we'll keep the uploads coming.